Okay, hello everyone. My name is Brooke Hagstrom. I'm the communications manager for Woodland. I would just like to thank you all for joining us today for a brief Q&A session about shield testing here at Woodland. Dr. Maychek, will you start us off with an overview and introduce our panelists, please?
I'm sure. A little background first. So Woodland School District 50 partnered with the University of Illinois to test students across the district on a voluntary basis through the use of the SHIELD saliva PCR test developed at the U of I. The SHIELD test is FDA authorized for emergency use and has been used effectively and administered more than 3 million times since September of 2020. District 50 piloted the SHIELD last month during summer school. And over the course of the 2-week trial period, we collected more than 850 student samples. These samples were analyzed at a lab the same day they were collected. And even though SHIELD promises results within 24 hours, we regularly received our daily results in the early evening of the same day of testing. The results and feedback from our summer school daily results, the results that we received and the feedback from our summer school staff, nurses, and administrators was overwhelmingly positive, leading us to expand that pilot to district-wide beginning after Labor Day. And so we're meeting today to present an overview of the SHIELD test and to explain what it will look like in District 50. And joining me on our panel today, we've got Dr. Scott Morcott, who is the owner of Passport Health. And we have his colleague, Katie Wilhelm, who is our Passport representative in District 50. We've got Beth Heller, who's the Senior Director for External Relations for SHIELD Illinois. Dr. Lene Walls, our Assistant Superintendent for Special Education, who was one of the summer school administrators helping me pilot the SHIELD. And of course, Brooke, our Communications Director. So thank you all for being here today.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask everyone a few questions that we've been hearing from our district families and our staff. So we'll just start with why has SHIELD tested been added to Woodland's back to school plans this year?
Well, as I mentioned, Brooke, the SHIELD test is FDA approved for emergency use. It's fast, reliable, and it's a resource that we can begin using immediately, free of charge, to assist us in planning for a safe return to in-person instruction. Because of its ability to identify the virus before any symptoms develop, SHIELD testing supports our current classroom relocation and contact tracing procedures. Due to its reliability and validity, individuals testing regularly at school who remain asymptomatic will be able to remain in school if they've been identified as close contacts of an individual who's tested positive. As a resource, the SHIELD supports the layered approach that we've been taking at Woodland to fight the COVID virus since the pandemic began over a year ago.
Okay, and I've heard that SHIELD testing is non-invasive. Will you please explain what the test requires?
Great. Well, thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank you all and commend you for adding this mitigation layer to your district. It really is a wonderful way to keep your community safe and keep kids in school. And, that is what we're here for. So the University of Illinois developed this test in order to protect our students and our state and people and companies. And so testing was developed at the university. It is a saliva-based test. So as Brooke just mentioned, it is non-invasive, and we are a PCR test, which is the gold standard of all tests. Our accuracy is maybe the highest on that is available. And saliva is easy. The individual just has to have a little bit of saliva that they produce and put it into a tube, which then, as Dr. Maychek said, gets sent to a lab and analyzed, and results are returned within 24 hours. I will let Dr. Morcott talk about the operations. SHIELD is here to provide the test. We've partnered with the Illinois Department of Public Health and the federal government with federal funds to help provide this layer of protection for free to all school districts in the state. And Dr. Morcott and his company, Passport Health, are here to implement the test and make it easier on the school district to offer this mitigation layer.
Great, thank you, Beth. And Passport Health appreciates being part of this project, and I echo what Dr. Maychek said about the success of the program this summer. So we look forward to widening that participation out and working with you all. As far as what your individual students will go through during the testing process, as Beth and Dr. Maychek mentioned, it's a non-invasive test that collects a small amount of saliva. The amount of saliva we collect is 1 milliliter, which I usually tell people it's about the tip of your pinky is about the amount of 1 milliliter. So it's a very small amount of saliva. Our team will either go to each classroom or the students will come to our team in one location. And the students will participate in a testing procedure that literally takes minutes. So each student will get a small funnel that looks just like this. That funnel will be put on top of a small test tube, and you'll notice there's a QR code on that test tube. So the students will have a funnel atop a test tube, and this is what they drool in or spit into to collect literally a tiny amount. About this, the bottom of this vial is all we collect. That then, that tube is then capped, and that cap is scanned out with a scanner that identifies your student and it associates your student with this sample. And then this sample is sent daily to the lab. Our company, Passport Health, is the test administrator. So we work alongside the University of Illinois SHIELD program. SHIELD obviously is your lab company. They're actually performing the lab test and providing the results. As Dr. Maychak mentioned, the results are typically available within 24 hours or less, and your school will have notification and access to that data once it's ready. And I think we're going to talk about that process in a minute. But the take home is that this is a non-invasive test. It's very quick and well tolerated by all students. Our company's done pre-K all the way through college students, so it's applicable for all.
Great, that was going to be my next question. We have young students and up through middle school, and it sounds like all ages can participate in the testing very easily. Thank you. The next question is, how often will students be tested at Woodland?
I can take that one. Individuals will be tested, unvaccinated individuals will be tested weekly. And again, this is a voluntary program for both staff and students. We've also have the ability to test students who have been identified as close contacts to a positive case, or students who begin showing symptoms outside of the normal testing schedule. The testing will look a little bit different at each school. As Dr. Moorcott mentioned, our pre-K, our K through 5 students will test in their classrooms, and then someone from Passport Health will come around and collect the samples and then scan them in and get them ready to take to the lab. At the middle school, we're also using carts, but they will be set up in designated areas for efficiency's sake, and so that we minimize any disruption to the actual school day. The administration at the middle school will be setting up the carts in strategic locations so that students can test on their way to and from PE and health class. So that's how the middle school testing will work.
Okay, so Beth, can you talk a little bit about the Test to Stay program?
Sure, I am happy to do that. I am going to share my screen here just for a moment. So Test to Stay is a program that was developed through the Illinois Department of Public Health with the goal in mind of keeping people in the classroom, keeping students going to their activities. And so what they've done is they've allowed for those individuals that are close contacts without symptoms to be able to test to stay. So if someone in a classroom is doing a weekly screening program or SHIELD, they'd be part of the testing system, and then they'd be eligible to participate in this program. And what would happen is if someone is positive and your child is considered a close contact and they don't have symptoms and they've been wearing a mask, then they can test on days 1, 3, 5, and 7 with our SHIELD test. And that will allow them to stay in the classroom. They do not have to quarantine as long as they don't come up as positive.
Beth, I might also add to that as well that part of that program can also use an antigen test. Not only the SHIELD test, but also an antigen test as well can be used for that program.
Okay, thank you for that. The next question I know people are asking is, if somebody tests positive, someone's participating in Shield testing and they test positive, what's the next step? What happens next?
I can take that. If a student tests positive, the results are immediately made available to both the school and Passport Health, as the test administrator also is checking those results as well. So the school will get the positive result and communicate that with the parents of the affected individual. Obviously, the students will be under 18. Anybody, a student participating over 18 would be called directly, but in this case, it'll be all communication through family members.
Okay, and then from that point, if you were to receive a positive test, you would work with your child's physician, your child's doctor, and kind of talk about next steps with them. And
but next steps, obviously, anybody with a positive test would have to quarantine at home for 10 days. And you're correct, anybody who's symptomatic and positive would be encouraged to get follow-up medical care with their own private physician. And at that point, obviously the contact tracing would come into play at school. And that's the advantage, again, of the Test to Stay program that Beth had mentioned before.
Okay, is there a cost to the district or to individual families for the testing?
No, there is no cost. Shield has, as I mentioned, partnered with the Illinois Department of Public Health on providing free testing to every school in the state. And so this comes through some federal funding from the CARES Act in order to help keep kids safe in school. So there is no cost.
Great. Who should participate in Shield testing?
I can take that one. Thanks. As we've heard earlier, over 850 samples were collected this summer from some of our youngest students, our rising kindergartners, all the way through our rising 8th graders. So everyone is encouraged to participate in this non-invasive test, because the more participants we have, the better it will help in maintaining a safe learning environment for everyone. Weekly Shield testing is recommended for all unvaccinated staff and students, but even vaccinated individuals may need to be tested during the school year due to exposure as a close contact or due to COVID-19 symptoms. If a vaccinated individual has symptoms, they will still require testing. As has been mentioned, this test is safe and effective for all ages, and we recommend it regardless of vaccination status. The more data we have, the more we will know about the impact of COVID-19 on our learning community.
Okay, and if for some reason, even though we're encouraging everyone to participate, but if for some reason somebody wishes to opt out, do they have that option?
Yes, I can take that one. So what we're developing is an opt-out form that will be posted in the family access portion of the Skyward program. And parents or guardians, when they go in, will see that the opt-out option along with a COVID a self-screener agreement that we're also posting, which will eliminate needing to do a self-certification each day. But the caution with opting out is that students who opt out won't be able to participate in the Test to Stay program that Ms. Heller mentioned. And that means if they have if they're identified as a close contact, they will have to quarantine, where asymptomatic individuals who are being tested regularly would be allowed to stay in school. And again, that's been our goal all along, is how can we safely keep our students and staff learning in person each day.
Okay, so if someone wishes to opt out, they go into Skyward Family Access and fill out the opt-out form. If someone plans to participate, no action is needed.
That's correct.
Okay. When will testing begin?
Right now, testing is scheduled to begin right after Labor Day on Tuesday, September the 7th.
Okay, and then I understand that Passport Health has some opportunity for our family members and community to participate in the in helping us with this program. So Katie, could you explain the opportunity?
Yeah, thanks, Brooke. Yes, we do have paid volunteers. I do have some information on it and would love to share it as you need it. My email is kwilhelm@preventivehp.com and would love to get more volunteers.
What exactly would volunteers be helping with?
They're actually scanning the tubes that Dr. Morcott showed and scanning the barcodes on the student IDs, sort of, and making sure everybody's sort of going through the process easily.
And then what should family members or staff members do if they have additional questions about Shield testing?
Well, we've been posting resources. We've created a special Shield testing link to our website. And so we've been posting, we've got videos, we have research, we have resources on the website, but certainly families can email me or contact me at the ESC if there's any further questions.
Okay, so on the website, it's directly from our district homepage, which is www.dist50.net. And there is a column along the side with links for useful links for parents, and it's called Shield testing right there from the homepage, so you should be able to find it easily. But with that wraps up all of the questions that we've been getting from our district families. So thank you all for answering our questions. Bob, did you want to provide any final comments?
Well, yes. First of all, I want to thank everyone for participating in this call from Passport and from Shield. We've had two wonderful partners helping us navigate guidance that seems to change hourly, if not daily. I also want to thank, we're on our teachers and our staff and our families during summer school who did an amazing job. And it was a 2-week pilot, and we got a little bit better and tweaked it and refined it every day by the second week. There was very little loss of instructional time going from point A to point B. And again, just one more resource to keep everybody safe. And that's really the bottom line for us in terms of rolling this out district-wide, is that we are trying to, we all love life in the W, and we want to make it as safe and happy for all of our staff, for all of our families, especially for all of our kids as we possibly can. So thank you all for your support today, and thanks to our families for supporting this effort and for supporting this program as we start a new school year.
Great. Thank you.